We're taking things back to life before the bloodline, life before the tribal chief. It must be 2018 here again on WTF Moments, because as we can see there, it's the big dog. WWE Hall of Famer Stacy Keibler blanked by Stinky Pete, not even a tope con hello. And I think it's weird because I think Pete is a testicle, so surely he would have loved to have seen Stacy. Direct quote from Stinky Pete when he said this is the last chance the superstars have to touch up before they go out. They'll be going to put some makeup on their face and end up making up their arse. The state of those gloopy things, man. The only people who would have a chance with those mirrors right there are wrestlers from the 1980s, because they were off their tits all the time and would be used to their vision going like that, non-stop. Something tells me they weren't supposed to capture those big shiny things laying there before the show kicked off, the sheer speed they moved away from them. Because you're supposed to sit there and tell me that the only titles Roman Reigns cares about is that of Tribal Chief and that of Head of the Table. Oh, bollocks, I've taught myself that with WTF Moment. I've cooked myself. The worst advert for Snapchat filters of all time. Who the bloody hell knew that Jimmy the King from Ready to Rumble was the actual tribal chief, as we can see there? And there's also Roy Walker off catchphrase, he's the American Nightmare. Tea time. We literally saw Booker T's bollocks drop during that kickoff show last night. He was speaking about the potential of Omos, and how Omos can go up into the stratosphere. And then when he starts speaking about some stars, he turns into Brian Bastard Wilson. I can't do the impersonation. Brian Wilson's voice is way too high. And now I have a PSA for the likes of Sting, Jeffrey Hardy, Umaga, Goldust, Road Warriors, Great Muta. Wade Barrett reckons that when you wear face paint, it's because, and I quote, you are covering up that there isn't much substance beneath that and you're not a very good wrestler. Drag him with those bull bollocks opinions. You can't have that opinion for everybody just because there was one Ultimate Warrior. Wade, come on. How on earth is that man standing there without a heart when he isn't even made of tin? Is the Wizard of Oz not even real? The last time I heard of an 18 quadruple E, I was off to a rave and I was off my tits. Mago, 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 mago. Direct quote from Mago when he says there are stars, but there are superstars. Isn't Brock Lesnar so cool, guys? And in that moment we learned the term WWE superstar is a lie, and is life even real at all? I do not know. Triple H likes big sweaty men. Triple H likes big sweaty men, whether they be 7'4" or a beast incarnate. Triple H wants their meat up in his mouth. I'm sorry everybody, but when we see Brock Lesnar's tramp stamp, it's an immediate WTF moment. Kill 'em all, it says, just above his anus. We knew it was going to happen, but still seeing it made you go, Fwah! It was good, like, wasn't it? But that match in its entirety, when you sit down and think about it, was much better than the opener to night one of WrestleMania. Who would have thought it? Omos versus Brock Lesnar, a way better professional wrestling match than John Cena versus Austin Theory. Those two big, sizzling sirloin steaks, or are they rumps? I reckon Omos is a rump. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Those slapping together, fantastic scenes at WrestleMania. Where is the tank? This entrance tanked because there was no tank. Rusev would have been spinning in his grave with there being no tank when there could have been a tank at a WrestleMania. I must say, the guy himself isn't dead, but surely that gimmick and the gimmick that rode in the tank at WrestleMania 31, surely that is. Imagine thinking you would have a showcased match at a WrestleMania and then your opponent in the build-up, not too far out from the show itself, he gets a mystery illness and then that's all you get. I am gutted for Bobby Lashley, or am I? The way things have gone with Bray Wyatt since he made his return to the WWE in the professional wrestling matches he has had, the nothingness, the sheer nothingness that Bobby Lashley did last night at WrestleMania would have been a hell of a lot better than an actual match with Bray Wyatt. Bollocks the IC triple threat match being sponsored by Harder Lemonade. Have that mother bleeper be sponsored by Bastard Absinthe. And that's because nothing hits you harder than absinthe, just like nothing hits you harder than those meaty men right there. Oh, oh, oh. And that opening kick from Drew McIntyre, it's the one negative WTF moment, an absolute barn burner of a professional wrestling matchup. It didn't even make contact, yet GUNTHER, he still went down. Clayless, am I right? These two must be the only people you can label a slapper, and they won't be offended. Those chops, they were so stiff, and every single one, the harder they got, a bigger WTF moment each and every time. Oh! Jesus Christ, it's Bray Wyatt! Or Braid Wyatt because of Bianca's hair. Kawada kicks. And then, look at what happened straight away. Again with the really loud ring mics WWE. In the words of Ross Geller, here comes the money! Oh, here it goes! There goes the money! Owie, 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 owie! So we get to this moment where Snoop Dogg is threatening The Miz. He's saying, I meant my bad, before pointing to the ramp, and then bad things appear. My bad indeed, Snoopy Dogg. Bad, 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 bad. Colonel McSweaty Bollocks returned as Snoop Dogg completed the biggest heel turn in WrestleMania history. Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 17, haven't even heard of her. Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13, I don't even care. Snoop Dogg facilitated the perspiration, the sweat to flow through LA, and he was complicit in that, therefore he's an utter prick. And it got off to a fantastic start, everybody, because of course the best professional wrestler in the world ever, Colonel McSweaty Bollocks, he hadn't lost a step. We got all the hits, we got the heavy breathing. In a promo where Shane McMahon was inexplicably out of breath just by doing this down the ramp, and then we got the Scrappy Doo. The Scrappy Doo came out, everybody. I'm going radio rental here. Not a single shot was making contact with The Miz, but it was great because of Colonel McSweaty Bollocks. But then, absolute disaster. You shouldn't laugh, but it's hard not to. It's just amazing that Shane McMahon has jumped off every single high thing imaginable, but the one thing to wipe him out, a leapfrog. Just as Maggle Cole was shouting, Shane still got it. He's down, snap, crackle, and pop. I am happy to report to you today that I have lived through not one, but two McMahons snapping their quads on big stages in the middle of a professional wrestling ring. It's something I'll be telling the grandkids in many years to come. I mean, if anything, the best professional wrestler in the world, he shouldn't be succumbing to this kind of fate, and he should have better footwork inside the squared circle. It's almost as if he's a fraud, a big sweaty fraud. In all seriousness, I do hope that Shane McMahon gets well very quickly. It was an unfortunate accident to see at WrestleMania 39, and I'm only laughing with such glee because of the utter turmoil he put WWE fans through for the last 7 years. But then, after Shane McMahon's leg fell off, Snoop Dogg thwacked The Miz in the mouth not once, but twice, and then he ran the ropes better than Shane McMahon could ever dream of, because while all professional wrestlers, they sort of go like that with their arm down, they're going, hello there top rope, I'll use you to balance so don't fall down and break my neck, but not Snoop Dogg, the new best professional wrestler in the world. He sort of went like that, with his back, then across, and that, with his back, and then wha-boom! He nailed the people's elbow, and then retained his title on the grandest stage of them all. Another LSD moment for all the kids. It's LSD time again, kids! There was this advert, right, for The People's Exorcist, and then Russell Crowe, who was in that there film, he announced Edge coming down to the ring, and then Edge appeared being played out by Slayer while dressed as a member of Daft Punk. All of these things happen in a row, and all of these things happening in a row once again proves there's nothing like professional wrestling, and if you don't like it, you're a bit of a whopper. No pyro, no party. Forget the demon, that fella there with his little flares in his hands, I don't know what I'm doing right now, he is nothing more than a football hooligan. Where's his stony badge, eh? Get the badge in. Who would have thought, eh? Who would have thought that throwing a ladder at somebody's head, whether they be a human being or a mythical demon character, would have seen that person's head split open and then spit out a viscous substance like the mouth of a bastard volcano. I don't think it was supposed to go down like that, but it did. But who would have thought it, eh? But this is Hell in a Cell, man. This is the worst stipulation you can do in the WWE, now that we don't host Hell in a Cell matches every single June or every single October because of Halloween and spooky masks, and because it is the worst thing, the only thing that can end a blood feud in WWE. The instant a superstar bleeds inside of a Hell in a Cell, they should be allowed to stay there and bleed to death, quite frankly. There should be no stopping anything inside the Hell in a Cell match, is what I would be saying if this was 1997. In reality, last night at WrestleMania, Finn Balor had his head split open by a flying ladder, then had his massive gash in his head stapled together in the ring and then carried on to wrestle a fantastic professional wrestling matchup. He's hard as bars. It's a WTF moment, whatever way you look at it. Sean Waltman angry at the cell match being stopped to cater for the well-being of his superstar? Potentially, I don't know. It's all WTF though. But by winning that match last night, not only does Edge become the third man to defeat the Demon Balor character after two Samoans, called Joe, but he also becomes the Pope's exorcist. Congratulations, Edge, and good luck! And an honorary WTF moment for the roughly 30 hours that passed between the end of that Hell in a Cell matchup and the start of the main event. I honestly thought I flicked onto a different channel and was watching that random WWE 24/7 channel from way back in the noughties. The amount of random WWE bollocks I was seeing that had no relation to the thing that came before it. I don't know what was going on. Dun 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 dun. At this point in the night, we were still finishing the story. This was still the fairy tale ending. Any other camera angle would have done Kevin Dunn, you absolute whopper. Or is it because upon seeing Cody Rhodes lock on a figure four leg lock onto Roman Reigns' legs, Corey Graves said, and I quote, the figure four won his father countless championships. Now I've got to be honest with you, I don't know my Dusty Rhodes lore all too well, so I was thinking to myself, Dusty Rhodes, figure four? Surely not. I know that Cody Rhodes' hair is the hair that would fit the hair, if that makes any sense, but Ric Flair's the figure four guy, isn't he? Not Dusty Rhodes. Is this a WTF moment? Let me know down below. And now I know what it's like to be a balloon, because that ending to WrestleMania 39 Night 2 was massively deflating. And I know we're so close to Roman Reigns reaching 1,000 days as champion. Oh, how lovely it will be when he passes that milestone. I'm sure we'll all be cock-a-hoop, but it just felt like last night... We're coughing now. It just felt like last night with those people at ringside, the story being told, it felt like we built to a crescendo, and last night was the night to cash in on Cody Rhodes winning the title and becoming this new John Cena figure as we head off into a bright new future of Americana and crappy haircuts and crappy tattoos and lovely wholesome promos, the Cody Rhodes way. To be honest with you, I still don't quite believe that referee counted 3, even though I know fine well that referee counted 3. But you sit back there and think to yourself, my God, last night maybe could have been and maybe should have been Cody Rhodes' night, but it wasn't. And you go back to Clash at the Castle, all the pieces aligned for Drew McIntyre to have one hell of a night. They didn't do it. You go to Elimination Chamber in February, all the pieces aligned for Sami Zayn to do it, but they didn't do it because they were saving the moment, apparently, as we were told back then by the dirty sheets and whatnot. Never trust the dirty sheets, that everything was being saved for Royal Rumble 2023 men's winner, Cody Rhodes, to win the title last night at WrestleMania, and now that moment hasn't happened, so when the hell is the moment going to happen, and who the hell is the moment going to be given to? Because this has been long-term storytelling. Roman Reigns has held that bloody title for over 900 days, so anybody going, oh, these fans just want moments, willy-nilly, long, hot shot the belt, no long-term booking, that's a load of bollocks. This storyline arc of the bloodline, it felt like it could crescendo with the Usos losing their titles, Roman losing theirs, the entire thing breaking apart, and the story continuing from there. But no, it didn't, and I don't know what to say about it. It just feels weird that the cookie crumbled this particular way, let me tell you. My main worry now is that the story had this natural crescendo last night, and now fans might resent Roman Reigns in the wrong way. You want to resent Roman Reigns. Remember back in the day with the blue eyes and whatnot, that kind of resentment, that might come creeping back in because it felt like the ending point was there last night, but we didn't do it, and now he's held on, and it's more of the same stuff. When are we going to get this moment? I don't know. Who knows? In the long run, it might prove out to be a master stroke not doing it last night and doing something better down the line, but right now it feels a bit like, ooh, missus, is this the wrong call? And we end these WTF moments for WrestleMania 39 Nights 1 and Nights 2. Thank you for watching with a question. Who the bloody hell throws a rubber chicken into the wrestling ring with a devastated Cody Rhodes? You heartless bastards!